Sowing Seeds into Man program. I welcome you, and I trust that you have had a good day and are planning to have a remaining good day. The seed today is as follows. Good leaders make decisions based upon certain principles and with virtually all of their major decisions. Those principles are never contradicted without some reasonable explanation, and this is called integrity. Now that's a deep statement, but it's simply saying that you don't arbitrarily make decisions. They're based upon a certain principle of life that you have. And if you ever make a change in breaking that principles, you have a very, very, very good explanation as to why you do it. Now, I trust that this is not too heavy for some of you, and I'm not suggesting that you don't have a good understanding. I'm just simply saying that when you make decisions, you do it based upon certain inbuilt and inward principles, and these principles really apply to almost every decision that you make. And if you make these decisions based upon these principles, it helps you to be consistent in your decision making, where somebody would say, if your name is John Jones, for instance, and you are the type of person that have a certain character, and people can almost detect when you are operating in character because the way you make decisions. And if you make decisions that are opposite to the way John Jones' character is, people may be very surprised and say, I'm surprised that he did that. That doesn't seem like a John Jones decision, because you have been so consistent in the way you have been making decisions. This is integrity. Basically, integrity is being consistent. It's being pretty consistent. Now, sometimes all of us may have to change our decision-making process because of emergencies, because of circumstances virtually without being under our control, sometimes simply because maybe of wisdom. But if you do make a change in your decision because what you are doing doesn't apply to the situation effectively, you have a good explanation as to why you made that change, and you can express it very well. As an example, I, as a pastor, as a rule, when I started this church, I decided I did not want to charge at the door for gospel singing, as an example. Now, there's nothing wrong with that if that's the way your culture and your church is. And the reason I decided is because the church was dedicated for giving God service, for freely you receive, freely you give. And some churches may charge at the door for doing this, and that's okay if that's their principle. But my principle is freely you receive, freely you give, freely you give, freely you receive. And I didn't want to get into a bag of charging money at the door if it was gospel singing. Now, we will charge money at the door for something else, and depending upon what it is, depending upon what the circumstances are, and usually even then we don't really charge money. We'll ask for a donation or something like that on some occasions. So all of a sudden, a year from now, if I decided to have certain singers at the church, and I charged the public $10, $15 at the door, I would be violating my principles, you see. And somebody would question me about that. However, if this group was so special until I knew that they, for whatever reason, wouldn't sing unless somebody charged at the door, but it was something special about this group, and they got people saved, people were healed when they came, and they required people to charge at the door, but they had such a dynamic, positive result when they ministered, where people would get delivered, they would be healed. I might make a change and simply explain it to the people because of the positive effect that this singing group has. For that reason, and also because this singing group requires the people where they sing to charge, I may make a change on that. But I would have to look at that, and I would have to do it where I would explain it. I would make it clear as to why I'm doing this, and the chances are I wouldn't do it. But if I did change, I'm simply saying that would be inconsistent with the decisions that I have made about not letting people sing in the church by charging at the door. But if something was unique and I decided I wanted to charge at the door, it's not that it would be a sin. I simply want to be consistent. And if I did change and charge at the door for some musical group, I need to have a real good explanation for it. So it's important that we base our decisions off of principles, and those principles are going to guide us in all of our decision making, and then you would be considered a very, very much considered a person with high integrity. And that's important for people to really trust you. So if you have any comments, any suggestions, email me at frankstewart@zcfla.org, frankstewart@zcfla.org, and I look forward to hearing from you. And keep making good decisions. God bless you.